dreams and are trying to stay on the right path to getting to that point. Your parents say all the time, my mom used to say all the time, you know, what friends are you hanging around? What do they do, this and that? And I always used to blow it off like, she's just talking, just trying to ignore her, blah, blah, blah. But it really does matter, like the people you surround yourself with, the people you listen to, and also just making sure you pay attention to the elder people we have in our Kenyan community, that are here with us. They've been through the journey, they've put in the work, and they've gotten to the point where they are now. And also just growing up within this Kenyan community and seeing the older people has, also those are other people who inspired me. So like I said, just surround yourself with good people, stay focused. There's a lot of distractions in this world, and I had my moments where I was distracted too, but by the grace of God and with the help of my mom, I stayed on path. And like I said, I still don't feel like I'm not satisfied yet. There's still places I feel like I need to go, but getting to this point, it takes a village, and it takes the people that's surrounding you. Mm-hmm. So like I said, keep a good community around you and keep good friends, and you'll just keep on ascending.
Amen.
Considering the theme about graduation, I think that it's really important that we get together and realize that life is a series of changes, and it's a series of, like in the journey, we go places that we don't expect to, we meet people that we don't expect to, a lot of the times it can deviate and not look the way that we expect it to. But the most important thing is to make sure that you are making the best effort to learn the most that you can, to discover yourself, to make a positive impact on the people around you, and to make society a better place. Education is something that is not purely intellectual. It's not just academic. It's a very deeply personal experience as well. You learn a lot about yourself. And you learn about what it takes to continue to move forward in this world, even when sometimes you feel lost, even when you may fail at times when you expected to triumph. So as far as graduation, it's not just like they call the ceremony that we do at the end of college graduation, they call it commencement, because it's not the end of something, it's the beginning of something great. So for those of you who are in the middle, like just in the beginnings of your educational journey, try to make the best out of it. Kevin had some fantastic advice. Really mind the company that you keep. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. Make sure that you have clear goals in mind, that that you're pursuing your passions and you're living by your story and not a story that somebody else tells you that you should live. And we only get one life, and this world is full of possibilities. So take risks, fall forward if you have to fall, and learn as much as you can, do the most that you can, and the world's waiting for you to make a big difference. So don't take that for granted, and don't overlook yourself.
Yes.
That plays a role on who you are. So the way you live your life, you create a standard for yourself, and academics falls into that. So that's kind of why I wanted to focus more on that. So these are some things that I think work in success or create success. Success is very different for everyone. Success for one person is being financially free to travel the world and come home when you feel like it and not to worry about any bills. For someone else, success is having a family, supporting your family, going to work, or creating a business. So everyone in this room, success looks very different, and there's no picture of what success is. But I feel like these principles that I'm going to list off are a theme in any version of success that you may have for yourself. So one of the things is opportunity and positioning. In life, you have to create opportunities for yourself. Especially now in 2019, there's so many opportunities, and sometimes you have to go out there and look for them. Sometimes opportunities do not knock on your door. Sometimes they do, and that's great, but other times you have to go seek opportunities, and you have to position yourself in a position in life to go and get them. So for the youth, some of you are into sports. You like to run. Maybe you like, I'm trying to think of some things I saw out there. Did I see karate? Anything like that? I don't know. Basketball. Right now, this is the time to just work on those skills, because those may create opportunities for school. You may get scholarships. You may get opportunities to travel because of it. So you want to discipline yourself now as a youth so that that becomes an opportunity for you in the future. Another thing that I think plays into success is grit. Does anyone know what grit means? Has anyone heard of grit?
No.
In back, what is grit?
So grit is essentially, it's just persistence. It's like the ability to keep trying and be determined to accomplish something even when it's hard and difficult, and even if you fail several times.
Yes. So along my journey, when someone introduced the word grit, to me it made a lot of sense, and hopefully that can resonate with some of the youth in this room. But grit is just perseverance. So in life, as you guys get older, you're going to go through hardship. And I know that's a shocker, but life will get hard. You are going to experience loss. You may go through issues in life that whether you want to wake up and get out of bed and do it, you're still required to do it. So life doesn't stop just because you are going through something. Life sometimes requires you to show up, and that's grit. Grit is the ability to push through and persevere. So I always say this in life, you never have to be 100%. No one can be 100% all the time. But if you're there 60%, if you're there 70%, 80%, if you show up every day, whether it's going to class when you don't want to, whether it's studying for an exam you don't want to, that little bit always adds up, and that's how you create success. And I know for me that worked in life, because there was days where I didn't want to do anything, but I had to push through, and that's what grit is. It's just pushing through. Another thing that I think goes into success is choices. So there's good choices and there's bad choices. And I always say the more good choices you make in life determines your life. You never want to be someone that makes a lot of bad choices, hoping they get a good life, because unfortunately that does not work. And what goes into this, Kevin kind of covered this, but listening to your parents. I know that's, when I was your age, I did not want to listen to my parents just because I thought they were old school, they don't understand. But what goes along with good choices is listening to our parents. They do know a lot, and they've been through a lot. And especially coming from a community like this, an immigrant community, our parents know a lot. It takes a lot to come to this country. And not only that, it takes a lot to create a successful life for your children, where you can go to school and you don't have to worry about what you're going to eat or worry about shelter. So your parents know a lot, and as you get older, you'll realize a lot of other people did not have the upbringing or the guidance that you had, and you'll learn to appreciate that, because I know I learned too. So when your parents say, make your bed today, that's a good choice.
Yes.
And they're helping you. When they say, okay, today I want you to eat this fruit, it's good for you.
Yes.
That's a good choice. So just listen to them. It's going to add up, and it's going to help you in the future. Another thing that goes along with choices is habits. Your habits that you decide every day create your life. So how do we live? Those are habits. Are you sleeping in when you should wake up early to get ready for an exam or to help your parents or your family? Are you studying for exams in enough time so you can do well? Those are habits. And I think there's a number that's thrown a lot, and I think it's 30 days. And recently I've heard 21 days. But that's how long it takes to create a habit. And anything in your mind that you want to become, say you want to be someone that wakes up early. For the youth, this is probably not necessary, but maybe for someone a little older, say you want to wake up at 5 to get more done. it can take you 21 days to 30 days to create that habit. But that small habit and that small change can really change your life. So that's one key that I have learned. And then lastly is faith. So staying close to God. I know in my life, I'm 27 years old, and when I've strayed away from God, my life showed that. So I became easily stressed. I wasn't around the best people in my life that would allow me to be successful. I wasn't making the best choices. But when I would come back to God, I noticed that life became very manageable. God was bringing people into my life that were helping me. God was keeping me motivated. He was answering my prayers. So that's one thing I have for you guys, is just stay close to God, because God will always be there.
Yes.
Your family may not always be there, especially as we get older. We move, we're taking exams in college, we're by ourselves. But one person or one thing that's always consistent is God. He will always be there. You pray to him and he'll always guide you. So just stay close to God and always make sure he is the focus in your life.
Amen.
So, any questions from that or comments? Oh, okay.
Who was your main inspiration
My main inspiration,
in becoming?
who I am, definitely my parents. They were just very hardworking. And just seeing that every day, seeing how hard they work, them going to work when they were still in school, they definitely motivated me to be who I am today. And I know for some people it's like, we don't want to listen to our parents, but they know a lot. They've been through a lot, and they make a lot of good choices. And as you get older, you'll just see the differences of upbringings and how other people had to fill in the gaps and kind of raise themselves because their parents weren't there. So definitely rely on your parents and look up to them because they know a lot and they've been through a lot. Okay. So another category I wanted to talk about is what determines your life. So what are some things that create your life? One thing is faith. How close are you to God, and how much of a center is God in your life? That can determine a lot of things in your life. Your faith, your hope. Like I said earlier, you're going to go through things in life. Everyone goes through something. And just having that relationship with God helps you stay focused in life to continue forward. Another thing is environment. This was kind of covered earlier with Kevin. Who do you surround yourself with? Who are your friends? Do they want the best for you? Do you create an environment for yourself to succeed? Do you read books that help you succeed? Do you go to conferences, maybe youth conferences? Do you stay after school and do after school programs? All of that has something to do with your success. So now we can talk about academics. Being someone that has gone on to further education, I went to Indiana School of Dentistry, and it was a very hard road. You see the different variety of lives that people live. You see people that come from wealth, people that grandparents were dentists, mom was a dentist, and then you see people kind of like myself who come from a background where you don't really know anyone that has done it, and you're kind of creating your own path. So the question is, what do you want to be when you grow up in this segment? Who in here knows what they want to be when they grow up? Okay, do you guys want to say? Yeah. I can't hear you. Pediatrician? Awesome. What about you? Yeah. Pilot. Wow, okay. A doctor. Awesome. Anyone else? Marine biologist. A lawyer. Engineer. Anyone else? A parent. Oh, I think you already did that. Congratulations. So, that's that is amazing that you know what you want to do. When I was about your guys' age, I did not know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something in medicine. So just having a title is a great accomplishment, so I commend you guys on that. One thing that I also want to emphasize on is a theme that I've noticed being a millennial. I'll say that a lot probably, but my parents coming from Africa, it's a different mentality. So in Africa, joy and happiness isn't always the main focus. And here in America, that's kind of different. Sometimes they say, pick a career that makes you happy. Like, whatever you do, make sure it makes you happy. And yes, that's very true. But there's so many other things in your life that can bring you joy and happiness. Your friendships, your family, your travels, community service, and hobbies. All of that have something to do with happiness. And your career, yes, it's a part of that, but don't choose a career solely on happiness, because at times that may not be enough, okay? So I say that to say this. In life, having financial freedom and success is very critical, especially in today's world. You want to make sure you choose a career that financially allows you the ability to support your family, to support your goals, whether it's to travel, whether it's to give back in your community. So you always want to make sure you pick something that gives you the ability to earn an income. And happiness and joy is a part of all of that. But I just like always to emphasize on choose a career that you know will be able to support you in the future. One thing that I did during school that helped me was I made sure to choose a mentor. So I made sure to select someone in my community or someone who is in the profession I aspire to be in, who could guide me in my life in the decisions that I made. How many of you know what a mentor is? What is a mentor? Exactly. So a mentor is someone you can look up to. Specifically also, a mentor is someone that has accomplished a goal you hope to do. There's a lot of people that can give advice, but it's always best to get advice from someone who has done it. So I heard some careers. I heard pediatrician, I heard doctor, lawyer, engineer, I think I heard a pilot. Whatever profession you hope to have in the future, try to find someone that has done it. Because they'll be able to really let you know what it takes to get there and what it takes to become that person. That's one thing, advice that I would also give to you guys. When it comes to academics, it's a long road. It can be a marathon, and it's not a sprint. Every day adds up. So I always say, give today so that the paved way is made for tomorrow. Becoming a dentist did not take like an overnight thing. It took a long road. It required me to do well in high school, which then allowed me to go to college, which then allowed me to go to dental school. And then now I'm doing an advanced training in dentistry because of dental school. So just know that things can take a long time, and you may become discouraged, you may get tired, but just know that it is a marathon. Every day will add up to the next day. Your success and your hard work all adds up in the end. And then one book that I highly recommend, and I read this twice when I was in high school, is The 7 Habits of Highly Successful Teenagers. So there's an adult version, but there's also a teenager version. And there's just some really good practical advice and some guidelines that can help you guys as you work towards your success in academics and in all other areas of your life. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. All right, that's all I have.